Greetings, my name is 𝗧𝗦𝗦𝗜𝗧𝗔𝗬. I'm the Process Optimization Specialist for Lakeside Process Controls and Emerson Impact Partner. Today I want to talk to you about the EnTech Toolkit and introduce you to the EnTech Toolkit. It is the product, an Emerson product designed to collect, analyze, and tune control loops. A little bit about EnTech. It was a company founded in the early 80s by Mr. 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗬𝗏 and Gene Lucas. Focused mostly on pulp and paper industry, doing control audits and control optimization services, as well as teaching control loop process control training courses as well. Emerson acquired EnTech in 2000. One last thing I want to point out is the EnTech control valve specs. For those of you who may be interested, is a specification that we developed. I say we because I work for EnTech from 1988 to 92, to be able to control valve specification on how a control valve should be, specifically what the sizing of a control valve, the dynamics of the control valve, the precision of a control valve based on the type of control valve and the size of the control valve. So all you got to do is just Google EnTech control valve specification and on the internet, and you should be able to find that specification as a PDF. The EnTech Toolkit has three major components. It has Collect, Analyze, and Tuner, and as I mentioned, they are all Emerson products. Collect, if you're a DeltaV user, is license free, so long as you're version 14.3 and above, if I'm not mistaken. So there is no cost. There is licensing fee, obviously, for Analyze and Tuner. For non-DeltaV, you can also install Collect. It's just a special version that has special activation codes, and it's good for 2 weeks. So Collect collects data via OPC. Now, OPC, for those of you who don't know, stands for Open Platform Communication. But the original acronym was OLE for Process Control, Object Linking and Embedding for Process Control. It was an acronym of acronyms. And that OPC database enables the control system to communicate with the HMI and the HMI to communicate with the control system itself. Anything that resides in that OPC database can be collected by Collect. Now, in order to be able to collect data, we need to build a tag database. Now, for DeltaV users, it's very easy. All you got to do is do a database export, creating an FHX file, which can be imported into Collect. It will automatically build the tag database for you. If you don't have a DeltaV, you would use an OPC browser to build your tag database. So incidentally, the EnTech Toolkit does come with an OPC browser as well. I have installed this on a Rockwell system, ABB, and Foxborough system. So long as your control system communicates via OPC DA, should be no reason why we can't install and collect some of your process data. In terms of sample rate, I typically go once a second sample rate. You really should match with the scan rate of your control module. Some modules maybe operate a half a second. You can go half a second. But like I said, usually once a second is what I typically set at. You can collect data sets for up to 262,144 samples per file per data set. Not sure where they got that number from, 72.8 hours at once a second. I typically go 28,800 seconds, 8-hour shifts. And so that's what I typically use. You can collect up to 256 days, different variables at a time. The very interesting part, the very good part about this is that you can tell Collect to repeat, meaning that you can tell it to collect data for 8 hours. It'll save the data and automatically restart, and you can specify the number of repeats you can have. I say 999 times there, but it could be probably more than that. So you can collect a lot of data. Speaking of which, when you do this kind of work, it's not difficult to have thousands of data files. And so the files are actually compressed. And so therefore they are not very large, so they don't take up a lot of room on your computer. Analyze does time series analysis. So at the upper left corner, you can see there the actual time series, the actual data collected. It will perform statistical analysis, take the average at 2 sigma, 3 sigma if you want to. It also does spectral analysis, see what kind of major oscillations, frequencies within your process data to be able to maybe mix to match them up with other oscillations you see in other processes. Bottom right-hand corner kind of extracts the actual cycles that it analyzed and tells you the degree of which that cycle contributes to the overall variability. It can also time shift data. So there you can actually, if you want to see the time delay between two processes, you can time shift one data until they match up. You can kind of estimate what the time delay is. You can filter the data. You got high pass, low pass filter, band pass filters, ideal filters. You can resample the data set. Where we had one customer that was actually wanted to reconcile data sets from two different sources. So one was that sample at every 2 seconds, and the other was sampled every 0.1 second. So we resampled the 0.1 second data set to 2 samples, so therefore they can actually reconcile the two data sets. You could append data sets, you can cut data, copy data, you can export to Excel, all in a couple of clicks. Very, very simple. It also does XY plots where you see the relationship between two data sets. So typically I'll use this to see what kind of flow curve we have. So on the x-axis, you would have percent output. On the y-axis, you would have the flow measurement and see what kind of flow characteristics you have. But you can use it to see what other kind of relationships you have there as well. Tuner, as name implies, obviously tunes control loop. So it reads in data files from collect, and you can window each bump test that you do. And from there, you can actually model your process using various models there. So you can see you got first order, second order, a lot of sophisticated models there. The most common you're going to use is going to be first order plus dead time and integrator process models there. And it's a matter of just adjusting the curves to fit the data as best as you can. It also has more sophisticated models as well. Here's one integrator first order lag. And it will actually calculate the tuning parameters, make recommendations, what safe tuning parameters are, what unsafe tuning parameters are. And it also will help you tune if you want to using PID as well. It's not just PI, but PID as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It's just a quick introduction. The next video will be on how to install Collect and set up Collect. If you have any questions you want to discuss with me, feel free to scan the QR code, and it will actually go right into my calendar and set up a virtual meeting with you as well. So thank you very much for attending, and have a great day.